All right, y'all. I think we actually did it this time. I think we're actually genuinely. It's a very interesting. Whatever.
You got an interesting hairdo?
I got an interesting hairdo.
Did you cut it this morning?
I didn't, and I feel like that's kind of clear.
Oh.
In the bad way.
I think you look great.
That's very sweet of you. Cheers. Cheers. Cheers out there. What's everybody drinking? I don't know where in the world you are today, but depending on where that is.
You might be drinking coffee.
You might be
having a cocktail.
You might be. Because I know a few people are like, whenever we're doing our live game shows, they're always like, oh, I'm drinking coffee or I'm drinking water. Or I'm drinking like, I gotta chill. I gotta do these things.
Right. It's like
whoa.
6 o'clock in the morning.
I got you, bro.
Oh my goodness. This is my second cup of coffee.
Coffee being a relative term. Not because it's filled with liquor.
I know. Why did you do the...
Because it's terrible coffee.
Well, let me explain. The coffee is actually good coffee.
Ah, okay.
It is actually.
It tastes great.
The problem, and when you are a constant traveler, you realize, we travel pretty much like everything under the sun, and I'm about to add a coffee machine to the list, or like a Keurig or something, because
French press.
This coffee maker that we have is clearly from 1978.
Yeah. Whenever the first coffee maker was made, this may be the first ever coffee maker that was ever made. Yeah. It's pretty bad.
And I don't understand. We make sure every single time that the coffee grounds do not fall into, like outside of the filter.
Yeah.
And somehow every single time.
But only literally every single time.
Coffee grounds.
Yeah. Which I'm sorry about.
Why?
It's not my fault or anything, but I feel bad.
No,
I still feel bad.
I'm going to go buy one today. I can't tell.
Yeah.
I can't tell.
Okay. Well, we will be buying something. If anybody really loves coffee, let me know in the comments what your coffee maker of choice is, or coffee of choice, because
you can really love coffee, but not be a coffee snob. Like I really love to have coffee.
Yeah. But
I am in no way a coffee snob.
No, you really love creamer.
Right.
Though. It's not so much coffee that you like.
Right.
You really like Silk Soy Creamer, which we're not sponsored by, but
send it over.
Feel free if you want, you guys. Yeah. I actually like the taste of coffee, which is why I'm super excited to get into Cole's coffee, which, by the way, my buddy Cole Walliser has a new thing, Cafe Coleon. He just launched it this year. It is a brand of coffee, Cafe Coleon. Go check it out. Buy it all. He's the best. He makes amazing coffee. He's also a good friend of ours and my surf buddy out in LA. And
I'm sure
bada bing, bada boom. So if you see me wincing every time I'm tasting this coffee, it's again, not because first off, it's not Cole's coffee, but also it's
a lot of coffee grounds.
Yeah, it's mostly coffee grounds with water, which I don't think is how coffee. I think it is how coffee's supposed to be made, but you know what? It's
always, we're getting a new maker today. I can't.
T, Mom, Megan, hello. Fitchette.
Good morning.
Fitchette, what time is that? I'm so sorry to interrupt you. Fitchette, what time is it where you are? I guess I could look it up on my phone, but I just wanted to ask you because we were just talking about the time differences.
I feel like you stay up really late to watch our lives.
Yes, so I feel like you're very, very kind and loving about that.
It's probably already drinking time, her time.
If you're lucky.
7 p.m. Yes!
Get in there.
Cocktail
Get started.
Time.
So jealous.
Hey, Claire.
Claire's
5
here.
p.m. Oh, it's drinking time, definitely.
Oh, come on, y'all. Jealous. So I guess we'll play a second round of What's Everybody Drinking? We're having really coffee grounds. All right. So, y'all, today we wanted to talk about something that has kind of come up a lot in our week and this past week. And we wanted to ask you guys, especially today, to be a part of that conversation and really go over in your heads what whether or not this has affected you recently. I know it has affected all of us because at the end of it, it all ties into relationships. But if you saw the title of this, we're talking about why we've got to learn to love our problems. And we were, talking about what we wanted to discuss on the live, and
we had a crazy week.
We had
so many
in the best way.
Well,
and
it was good.
It was a lot.
It was hard.
It was a lot.
It was a lot of things.
It was a lot.
But
oh shit, Mel Speedy Hale, 5 p.m. in the UK, and I'm partial to an iced coffee. At 5 p.m. Okay, I do not understand how people do this.
Yeah.
Explain. Does it not affect you, or do you stay up late? Do you work late? Or
yeah, I guess if during the show, I will have a coffee around 4.
That's very true.
But I'm not going to go to bed till 1.
Yeah, easy.
So,
well, there's people that like Billy. Billy will come back from the show and have a coffee.
No.
And then go to sleep.
No.
I don't know how anybody does it. Are you guys is anybody here a big coffee drinker that can drink it late and doesn't work late or do anything
Maybe
like that?
you build a tolerance. I do my best work after a dirty martini. Always.
So true. Well, it's the most fun work, hands down. I wouldn't say it's not arguably the best work we do, but it's definitely the most fun. Oh man. Now I can't stop thinking. Is it 5 o'clock?
I know, right?
It's
we
not
got
12.
a lot of work to do.
No, it's just 5 more hours. We're good. Okay, so you go.
The work this week was crazy. The week was crazy.
Yes.
We had a lot of fun news, bad news, not great news.
Yeah,
I'll say.
I would say not great news.
And we were kind of by midweek, we were so tired that we were like, let's just get it done. Let's get through it. How do you get through it? And
that's what we always talk about. Or that's what we're kind of talking about today, which is how often have you guys said this? And let us know over here. Have you said, I just got to get through it. There's so many sayings for it. Just grin and bear it. Put your head down and work,
I feel like
I'm
though,
sure there's more.
I know I'm at fault for this. Always, I have to constantly remind myself, even when we're in really good positions, let's say tour, for example, I always would have to remind myself, I was always just trying to get through the week.
Yeah.
Just trying to get through teaching the class and get through the 5-show weekend and get through, how do you get through it?
Just got to edit these videos.
Yeah.
You just got to do this. You just got to film
Monday,
this. You just got to, and that's not a sustainable solution.
No.
Y'all. And the way that we want to talk about it today is we're going to talk about it in past, present, future, all of those things, how it affects us, in relationships. And that's really the main one. How it all ties back to, we were saying the problem needs to become the process.
Yeah.
We've got to stop looking at things as, oh, well, once I find that person, once I get married, it's done. This concept of the goal being, well, just deal with it and eventually there's some good. No, we've got to find the good now. That's why we talk so much about self-love.
And maybe it's not always good. There is goodness to be found. I'm oh, sorry.
Sorry,
emails are going
I'm so
off.
sorry. My emails are going fucking crazy.
But I'm just going to spill the beans.
Let them know.
I really, really hurt myself. We found out officially yesterday, I have a very bad injury, but I have known for months something was really, really wrong. And I've been in a buttload of pain. And I just was not making time for me to go to the doctor, and just life was happening. And I was no, it's probably going to be fine. I'm going to get through it. I'm going to get through it. And finally I went to the doctor and had an MRI, and
wait. Well, hold on a second. You didn't go to the doctor of your own volition. You good?
Yeah.
spilled her drink everywhere. She's also drinking water. It's called coffee, tea, and water. That's in parentheses.
I'm only drinking this water because of the journal that you got me that says I should drink water.
That says you have to drink the water.
Okay,
so this one, is it okay to tell them what it is? Is that, you don't want to talk about it? That's okay.
Well, no,
you don't want to make it real.
No. It's not bad. It's just
work stuff that could eventually bada boom. Okay, so either way, here's a hint. It's an injury that I have had previously,
Yeah.
which doesn't really narrow it down because my whole body has just been in shambles many times.
But it's not a small one. And we kind of knew something was wrong. And you were like, go to the doctor.
And I was like, please go to the doctor. I think I know what's wrong with you. Please go to the doctor. And this is definitely what's wrong with you. Please go to the doctor.
It's gonna be fine.
She kept being like, no.
But like, it hurts to breathe for months.
Watching her sneeze is
Sneezing
both hilarious and so sad. Like it goes instantly. You're like, oh my God, oh no. Like that's
right.
It's craziness.
That's bad.
Like that shouldn't cause that much pain. However, she finally went, and even the doctor was like, okay, well, based on the way that you're talking about it, like it's probably nothing too bad. And that's because this one is, as we call it in the business, a tough old bird.
A tough old bird.
And a tough young bird. And got your results back. And even the doctor was like, what is wrong with you? Are you okay?
And what's funny is that when I said today, and yet last night, it hurts so much more now that I know that I can't lie to myself. Like now I know the truth. Like it's crazy the amount of power your brain has over your even physical well-being. Because when I was ignored, I was like, there's no way. I was able to like tolerate more pain. I was very uncomfortable, but now I'm like sinking into the pain, and it just like feels very.
She got off the phone.
I'm very sad.
And comes into the kitchen where I was working because it's a relatively small place, and she goes, "It hurts really bad now that I know." And that was the whole thing. And all day and night since then, she's been like, And that's the thing, though. So this is what we're talking about, right? The problem has to become the process.
But
right?
I will say though, so this really bad thing that not only is uncomfortable, but like majorly affects my career, our careers, our bodies, I now have to pay attention to. And I was ignoring it, and it would not go away. And I was just trying to get through. And I did get through, actually. I think when I really look back at it, I was in a lot of pain when it first happened.
Yeah.
Like a couldn't sit down pain. But either way, I have to deal with this now. And what I'm realizing is that I now, because I know the results, I have to allot time for myself. I have to do things that I wouldn't do for myself now. Mm-hmm. There is beauty in that. We know, I've shared with you that like I struggle with that. I struggle with taking care of myself and acknowledging when I'm in pain. Yeah. Like I rarely acknowledge I'm in pain because I just struggle with that for a lot of reasons. And like, so this is cool. This is like God, the universe, whatever, being like, you gotta like get in there. Yeah. You gotta get in the trenches.
You gotta actually look at the problem and deal with it. But also,
and there's love there. There's love working that out. You know?
You have two options now. And this is kind of, I think, the overall point that we're getting to with regards to like this one. You can either, knowing that you have a certain amount of work ahead, you can either put your head down and just get through it, or you can do your best to find goodness in there, to find, oh, well, here's a new strength that I learned from doing this, or here's a new thing that I learned about myself that, and I mean, already you've learned that from, you're able to tolerate so much pain. And you can say that. And a lot of people say that, but when you are still teaching dance classes, still doing things like when I was still doing a Broadway show.
This one tumbling on.
Well, I'm just saying, us,
you're able to get through a lot.
It does teach you something about yourself that then moving forward, I know that since that injury, or since I broke my ankle on stage at West Side, like those were moments where I went, oh, this is something I can handle. This is a level that I know I can get through. And it kind of then carries into other parts of your life. So using that process to go, and this also leads into another thing that happened this week where we were like, okay, we had a bunch of work come our way that needed to be done within a very short time frame. And both of us immediately were like, okay, well, plans are done for the weekend. Can't do anything. Put your head down, do it. And I realized how miserable it felt thinking about it like that right as we started.
Right.
And so I went into my new journal and was just writing out, how am I going to do this? Not literally the process, but how am I going to approach this? I remember when we saw Life of Pi, like, and this is it seems like a very off subject, but I promise it ties together. There was this concept of how do you get through hard times, whether it's incredibly hard, like emotionally wrenching Life of Pi concept times, or just an overwhelming of things like at work or in your personal life. There has to be an acceptance of, this is where I am. I need to do the best that I can getting through this. Not just put your head down and deal with it. You don't just float in a raft with a tiger and just slowly die or drown or whatever. It's okay. I've got to do my best to acknowledge that this is where I am right now.
Right.
How do I enjoy this to the best possible ability? Because otherwise it's this kind of nihilism of, well, it's all bad, so whatever, right? That's not useful to us. And so I looked at it and I was like, okay, especially just because a large portion of the work that came was stuff that I just had to kind of deal with.
Right.
And so I looked at it and I was like, why are you doing this in the first place? You're happy that work is coming your way.
Right.
Why did you start doing this? And this is the point. And I'll probably say that a bunch because I'm so excited about this. If your end goal is to get married, or your end goal is to find the love of your life, and that's it, it's just a goal. That's the what. And again, it ties back to the what and why that we talk about. Why is that your goal? Is it so that people can see that you're married and that you've achieved something, or that you think that that person's going to fix that thing? Or in my case, or our case this week, that it was just, okay, well, I'm just going to get to this end thing. And then if it goes well, then that will prove that I am good and that this was worth it. No, you got to love the process, because life is just a series of process, goal, process, goal.
It's interesting. Tyler, who's, I don't know if I can, I won't share who it was that said this, but a really, really amazing choreographer, let's say, a friend of ours was talking about, they were having this conversation, and he is very, very famous and very, very talented and well-known and has had a crazy career. And he was just saying, I just feel like I'm nothing. I haven't arrived yet. Like, I don't know. Like,
I don't know when I'm going to make it.
When I'm going to make it. And
this person has won every possible award out there, has done everything as a choreographer that you can in theater. And I mean, as a performer.
I think you hear a lot of like celebrities or artists or I don't know, anyone that really does well in their career. Like, oftentimes you hear that and they're like, I feel like I don't know when I'll feel like I arrived. Yeah. And I love that in a way, because that's almost like a negative way to say it, but we will never arrive. It's okay. It's a good thing. That means that the work never ends. And it's good. It's all, the life is the journey. Life is but you have to love that work. Yes. I think that. Otherwise you'll be so torn, because I feel like you'll always be waiting to arrive, and you'll always be like,
well, that's what made me so sad about when our choreographer friend said that.
Right.
Was what made me sad about it was, oh, you still think
chasing that,
you're chasing. There's a difference between that being the goal, because then you will feel better, versus the, who's very popular right now because he, just put out his book. And so he's doing all of these, press things and talking to everybody ever. And Matthew McConaughey has, and I think his, was it Dallas Buyers Club speech, where he said, I'm always chasing the man that I am 10 years from now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm always chasing that. So it isn't an unattainable goal, but I love the process of who that is. And I think that with regards to relationships, one of the reasons we preach self-love so much and self-awareness is that should be the goal. The goal is that, like, loving that process, loving, exploring, being different people, dating different people, learning about yourself. I love all of the work that we've had to do recently, because I am an entirely different person than I was a week ago, 3 weeks ago, 6 months ago, a year ago. And
it's so funny. Like people are like, your 20s are when you change there is no decade that you change the most. You change always. I look back a month ago and I'm
thumbing up that one because that was
like there just isn't, like I mean, take it from Oprah. She's like, this is the best decade of my life. And now like it's always every decade because she's constantly growing and changing and embracing that. Yeah. Like, I mean, I love the growth that I've done this week. It wasn't comfortable, but it was
necessary
growth and necessary and good. It's terrifying, but it's good. I'm alive. I get to be alive with you, my best friend. And like life is good, Well,
we talk a lot about that. What is it? Jungian concept of looking back at the thing that scares you most, and that the place where you least want to look is the place where you need to look most. Right. And that's what's going to help you grow the most. But even though we talk so much about looking back and how necessary that is, there's also, it's also just as important to look at your now and your future, like, time is a flat circle kind of thing of looking at it all and going, okay, where do I want to be and why? And am I willing to is it worth it? Is that why worth it to do everything it's going to take to get there?
Right.
That is super duper important, because otherwise, if it's not, like, find a different thing.
Well, I think also what's cool about you saying that is that means we have to decide. We can't just float, right? We have to decide where we would like to go. And then, whatever happens along that journey, great. That's life. Like that's, whatever. But like live intentionally, like choose an intentional path.
Yeah.
Because when you float, like you're just getting through, and why you're blessed with life. You're blessed with this body that we're living in. Like, I don't know, not to get so deep, sorry about that.
Well, I mean, I feel like that's kind of the point of this entire channel is kind of to get deep to at least some degree.
But like choose intentionally. And there's things that even this week I realized, like, why am I'm wasting my life just trying to get through this thing when I could intentionally choose to have more freedom, allow myself to feel certain things, choose a different path. Like, we're all
somebody,
but there's
Brandon would say, come on, somebody.
I like that.
You don't know that phrase. Tune into the refinery on Fridays at noon.
Wasn't this refinery really special? Did you guys watch it?
Oh, that was a really, really fun one. Also, if you did, side note, we're going to keep this door open. Okay. Side note, throw into the comments. If you did not see the refinery this week, it was about the one thing that we had left to do in life. Like the one thing that we really wanted to do that we haven't done. Maybe we'll put up a video if it's requested that you talk about your thing. Okay. But if you haven't seen that, go check it out. And over there or in here, leave a comment. What's the thing that you still really, really want to do? I want to know what that is, because that was a topic that Brandon brought up, Brandon Alexander. And it was really eye-opening, and it opened up a lot of other doors. I think a great question can open up so many doors. Yes. A great conversation, which is why the refinery is so important, which is why this is so important. The reason that we have these, we pick a topic, but the conversation that we're having right here in front of you and with you, for one, can't happen without you. But also, even when it can, this is a genuine conversation. We're learning so much of this. And I'm just so excited to share that with you. But definitely check out that episode. The last few episodes of the refinery, season 2 has been magic. Yeah. It's just fucking.
You've really found your groove. It's cool.
Yeah. Really cool. I'm pretty stoked about it. Okay, so
should we go to the comments? We have a lot of comments.
Yeah, absolutely. Or do you want to wait? I was gonna say, if you wanted to finish, we had a door open that I thought we could close. However, I feel like
we've come back to it.
We'll come back to it. We'll keep it open right now. All right, let's go to the comments. There have been a ton of comments today. I love this. Put my face all right up in here. All right. So from the top, everybody's checking in. Hello, everybody. Megan, you don't like coffee? Oh, you hate coffee grounds. I was like, whoa. Hold on a second. You know what I really learned to love coffee, though, was actually a mixture of, because Cole only makes, like, if you just checked in, my buddy Cole Walliser has a new coffee company called Cafe Colione, Colione. Go check it out. He's the dude with the big hair on Instagram that does the glam bots. But I learned to love coffee because when I was living with John and Nicole, shooting
John
season 1,
fresh coffee
I would wake up every morning and John would hand me a cup of coffee.
John also likes to grind his own coffee beans, and he does that whole snabby, amazing thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not as refined.
All right. Megan said, my dad can drink coffee all day and all night and still go to sleep at a normal time. I do not get that.
No.
The chat says it doesn't affect me. I can drink coffee at any time. What is happening? Time.
That might be like a cultural thing, though. Like I feel like, you know, in like European countries and other countries, like, or at least where my family's from, like they drink coffee after dinner.
Yeah, that's
true. And I don't understand.
And it's not decaf?
Not in Italy. I don't know. They're like, here's an espresso.
Yeah, I assume Italians are like
when in Rome,
decaf.
I'm like, I'll take it. You know, I passed out because I ate so much gelato anyway.
Well,
but like,
maybe that's what does it. All right. Claire, big coffee drinker. Kelly Goff used to drink coffee all day at work, but now I have to stop after 3 because this whole gal needs her sleep. See, this old gal. This old. No, it's a saying. And then we were talking about injuries. Hey, Christy. John made just a one-of-a-kind, fantastic, great comment like he always does. He was asking about the injury that both of us have had. And, well, you guys can all just read that for yourself.
Yep, there you go.
Thanks, John, for that contribution. Sorry to hear that. And hope you get better. Y'all are all so sweet. Thanks, Claire. Chet, after my spine injury, when they you had a heart attack and they resuscitated you, barely escaped. They broke some ribs. Wow. I have had bruised ribs. I have never broken any ribs, but I know just bruising ribs made it really, really hard to breathe. However, I did watch, my dad was working out on a porch at the old house where I grew up.
I know this story.
And my brother was holding his ankles and he was like doing crunches hanging off of the porch. And he reached up and I think my brother thought he said, I got it. And he didn't got it. And my brother let go of him and he fell 5 feet off the porch and landed on a rock and broke a bunch of his ribs.
That's terrible.
And I remember watching, that's a tough man who came inside and was just like, oh, son of a bitch. Because, I mean, that's rough. Good on you. So easy to ignore and neglect yourself. Yes, Mel. I'm an expert. Kudos to you, girl, for facing up to it. It's a bold move. I need to face my injury and learn to walk again. Yes, absolutely. I know how you feel. Waited to get checked when I was sick. My mom finally made me go. I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis. Once I accepted that, I managed it without medications for 27 years. Come on, people.
Yeah.
Come on with this love.
Right.
My husband was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis a few years ago, 2 years ago. My end goal is to be happy, whether it be on my own or finding someone to share my life with. Either way, I love myself and I'm happy. Y'all, Claire is coming through in a big way.
2021, baby. I can't wait to see what happens this year.
And let's be honest, everybody who is here every week is making these huge strides. And
the personal growth is
crazy.
So beautiful.
And it's so inspiring to us. We get off of these calls sometimes and just like, we talk about y'all. Like we get so excited and it's cool because a lot of times we'll be talking and one of you will come up or a problem that, you've privately written about or something that we've publicly talked about. And it's such a nice thing to be like, oh yeah, well, I mean, look what Claire did. Look at this. And like, we're making drinks. We're talking about the chat. We're talking about like everybody's journeys. We're talking about families. We're talking about you guys. You guys have become a big, big part of our lives. And we just want to say, I'll say on behalf of us, she already said it.
No.
On behalf of us.
Thank you. No, we built this community together. I mean,
for this reason.
It's amazing.
Christy, Fachette is sure isn't an easy disease. Some days regular checkups are essential. I don't know anything about ulcerative colitis, but I'm glad that you guys have some extra support here today. All right, Megan, you just left a while ago, but we'll see you now. Hello again. Peanut butter is not my friend. Okay, first off, that makes me sad because I love peanut butter.
You love peanut butter.
I'm obsessed with peanut butter.
Creamy peanut butter.
Creamy peanut butter. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of crunchy. Also, throw it in the comments. Crunchy or creamy peanut butter?
Creamy. Gotta be creamy.
You know, that's the only reason we can be together. You know, you got to find your crunchy or creamy. There's some joke in there. I'm going to not let John get to it. End goal is to be happy, even if it is being single. I'm at peace with that, but I still have hope I will find someone to share my life with. All right, T.
Yes.
Love that.
I mean, the thing is, it's like, especially when it comes to like, you know, single life versus like, you know, if you want to spend your life with someone and you're dating and you're in that journey, right? It's always like when I find them, when I get the house, when I get the baby, when I get whatever the heck it is that you want to get to.
Yeah.
You know, you got to stay present in it. And like, I'll say that though I wanted to so desperately to find you, I was very actively present in those moments.
Oh yeah, you were you.
Yeah.
With or without me.
And I had fun. And I look back at that time in my life and I'm really proud of it. Like I'm not proud of all the things I did and the way I acted.
I'm not proud of all the choices that I made during that time.
But I'm proud that I explored. I gave myself permission to be whoever it was I needed to be in the moment.
Yep.
I met crazy people. I have crazy stories, you know, but that was a full time in my life. And I'm really happy I took advantage of that because I think it created the people that we are separately to find each other, you know?
Well, I think one of the reasons that I am so attracted to you and that I always have been was because you were fucking crazy.
You were fucking crazy too.
In the best way though. Like you were such a wild and out, like just loose cannon of a person. So I don't think I've told this story on here, but I love
nervous.
this.
I don't know what this is.
No. It's actually, it's a more chill one.
Oh, okay.
It's a more chill one.
Okay.
But we've told the story of being out at the bar late into the night just to end up at a diner together in the morning because we were the only two that were willing to do that. But that kind of was enough of that. Like everybody else would just fall off because we knew we will tough it out. I'll stay up all day and walk you to the show if that's what it takes because if someone else is there, then I'll outlast them. I will figure it out. But my favorite story about you, as far as the first time that I really got to know you, well, really there were two. There was one personal one and then there was one that was about you.
Oh, okay.
So one was we go into dance rehearsal. And this is the, oh no, that happened after. Okay, so sorry. This is all within the first week of me getting to West Side Story. We meet in the green room. I'm fall head over heels in lust. And I'm, wow, right? The next day I come into work. I'm sitting down in the green room. Show is starting. Angelina and our resident choreographer walk out of the girls' dressing room and they're both done up to the 10s, way past the 9s. And they are walking with like their purses and their heels. And I'm thinking they're going to come around and sit on the couch and they walk out the door. And as they were walking out, I was like, oh, the show, Ange, the show's starting. And she was like, so? I was like, but the show is starting. We're supposed to be here to watch the show. And that's the resident choreographer who's supposed to be here to watch the show, to give notes. And they were like, we're going to go out for a drink. We'll be here. We're like a block away.
I was like, we're just going around the corner. If you need me, call me.
And they fully just left and went out and had a drink. And she was in charge and she said it was okay. But that kind of shit would happen where I was like, And I come from, police and like that kind
Follow
of
the
family, a very
rules.
like, this is the rules. You do not break those rules. You can break, if nobody said that this is a rule, do whatever the fuck you want. Like figure that out. But there were certain rules that I was like,
during your Broadway show.
yeah, definitely don't. The next day we go to rehearsal and now I have this kind of larger picture of who this is, this more kind of high definition picture. And we start doing dance at the gym, which is a very sexual dance. And Lori, who's talking about all of the choreography and teaching us and telling us the things that go behind it, because she danced for Jerome Robbins and was in Jerome Robbins Broadway and all of these things. And she is the single best dancer and one of the best performers I've ever seen in my life. She is telling, get into it. It's sex. It's about sex. Come on, get in there. You're horny kids, you're horny teenagers at a dance.
Yeah.
Like, and there's no parents around. The teacher, that's the whole comedy of it, is that you guys do not care. Or not comedy, but drama.
It is the comedy is in that scene. Part. Yeah.
So I'm doing it, but also I'm trying to be a gentleman and not like hump this girl. At which point she grabs me by my hips / butt and pulls me into her and goes, "What are you doing? Come on, do it. Hump me. Come on, get in here. Get in here."
Well, I was like,
be dirty.
That's not the choreography. That's just not how you do it.
And
we are first and foremost, what are we, babe? Actors.
And I, at the time, though, did not actually follow that. I wanted to, but again, my goal was to be a great performer, so that people would say that I was great, and then I would have value. Like
I think you were nervous, and I also was playing off the fact that
I was sweating, and we hadn't even started dancing.
That he was like nervous and like kind of, at least lusting after me a little bit.
Yes, very much.
And
she was, of course,
I thought it was hilarious.
And she was in her go-to outfit for rehearsals, which was a sports bra and yoga pants.
Well, like I had the upper hand because I already knew what was going on, and like I was Lori's second, so I just thought it was funny. I was just there to enjoy the show, basically. And I was definitely like toying with you a little bit.
100%.
And he was shaking.
Oh yeah. I was trying so hard to like be cool, but I was not cool in the slightest. And you made me so nervous.
I was mean. I pushed.
No, but I love that. I love that you would do shit like that. I love the fact that you would take me to these balls, because I didn't know shit about New York.
I was always curious to see how you would react to things. And I wanted to see life through your eyes. Like, I think that's the coolest thing about dating is you're not bound to anybody. Mm-hmm. So explore and like see, like, I love to watch your reaction to places and things.
Yeah.
When we do these things around New York, like,
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah. So that was like our favorite thing about touring together was that, and that, I guess that's the point again, I don't know, like 6 times I've said it, but that's the thing. That's what's so special about a relationship is that process of the relationship. And it doesn't end at the point where you're boyfriend and girlfriend. It doesn't end at the point where you're married. It doesn't end when you have kids. It doesn't end until the relationship ends and then something else starts. Like that's a whole other thing, or until you die. Like I mean,
and within your relationship with yourself, it's like, what's that Titanic quote? A woman's heart is like an ocean of secrets or something.
Yeah, no, that sounds.
So someone knows what I'm talking
about. Somebody, if you know the Titanic quote, Google it.
I mean, if we all look back at the story of our life as if like we're the center of the movie, right? Mm-hmm. And the movie was created about like just you alone. My gosh, how beautiful all these stories, the good ones, the sad ones, the happy ones, the crazy ones. Like, that's a cool movie. Yeah. I want to watch that movie, But that's the thing, is that character that is you, as it were, is made up of all of those movies, right? And all of those stories. So I fucking loved living in New York once I met you, and I hated living in New York until I met you. And it wasn't because we were in love in New York. It was because you suddenly were like, what are you doing? Like, why aren't you going and doing stuff? And I was like, well, what do I do? And you were like, what, have you been to Brother Jimmy's? Have you been to this? Have you gone to St. Jerome? You're like, have you even gone to this store? Do you even know what this is? Have you eaten here? Have you done this? What about this bar? Have you gone to a diner at 6 a.m? Like, there were so many things, and you taught me so much about
then you would call me sometimes and be like, what are you doing? I was like, I've been playing darts with this darts league that I guess I'm a part of now. And I've been here for like 7 hours. I got here at 11 this morning because it's, you know, our day off. And like, and I would just, and suddenly I'd start to go meet people and I discovered more about myself. And that, loving that process helped me then be like, oh, you should come here. We should do this. And then it became even a grander scale. So sorry to keep stifling you, but that's what tour was for us, because we had both toured and I had done that on tour. But
I think that you don't need a tour to start living like that. I think that's the cool thing that New York taught you.
Yeah.
And I, you know, don't take this for granted, but like my very best friend, I don't know if she's probably like half listening right now, but she is with John here somewhere or whatever, like taught me very young. And we, I guess, taught each other. I don't know. We ran around New York City as if we owned that freaking city. And it was our city. And we always were up for an adventure. And like the crazy stories that we have are like, I just wouldn't trade them for anything. And so it taught me, it like really taught me at an early age that like life is an adventure.
Yeah.
Go make an adventure. I don't care if you know, live under a rock in Omaha, get out from under the rock.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I picked Omaha.
Yeah. Let's not knock Omaha. There's a lot of fun stuff to do there.
Actually. I know,
it's a great tiki bar.
But like make an adventure, you know, like literally, like you can make an adventure doing anything. And I think that's why we make these stupid videos sometimes, like where we went to Crate and Barrel or like, you know, you just.
And even right now, I get it because of the pandemic, like, you know, a lot of things are shut down. It's dangerous to go places, but we all are so fortunate to live in this era where we have the internet and you can order a home brew kit or a some new thing. People learned how to make bread. Like I didn't do that, but explore. You've got to explore things to figure out what your passion is.
Yes.
Right? You've got to explore things to figure out what your genuine. You can't create a goal unless you have some sort of passion to figure out what that is.
But just do different things and maybe you'll find it. I just found out 2 weeks ago that I really like comedy. I never would have pinned myself as like a comedy watcher.
Stand-up comedy.
Obviously,
she likes comedy.
I like comedy.
Look at that. Great comedic genius over here. Did you do an elbow waka just now? I just wanted to double check. I just want to make sure. Wowza.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we started watching. I started introducing her to some of my favorite comedians. We literally watched one short little Dave Chappelle thing on YouTube.
I was like, come on, Dave.
Oh my God. She was like, this is hilarious. And then we watched every one of his specials and it's so thought provoking and introduced some other people. And it's just, and I mean, that's such a small thing, but it's self. And that can be for you to hold on to, or if you'd like to, for you to share sometimes. And that's the thing about dating. This is why I fucking love dating. Loved dating. Yeah. But still love it because we still do it with each other.
I don't know why I winked.
I don't either. We're not. Yeah, no, it's just us. Really nailing it today. Waka waka, huh? I lost my train. Oh no.
The journey. It's all in the journey.
Oh, dating helps you so much learn about yourself.
Oh yeah.
Right? You go out on a date somewhere, you know, or go on a date on fucking, I don't know, a dating app, or I don't know.
I think
it depends on where you are and how the rules are and how lockdowns are. But
force yourself to go on a date.
Force yourself to do something.
They may not be the best thing, you know, you've ever come across, but just do it.
You're going to learn something one way or the other. You're going to learn something about what you don't want, what you do want, what maybe you didn't think that you would like, but you're kind of attracted to in a weird way.
Yeah, totally.
Like, I remember dating and being like, I thought that I would really be attracted to this. And it just,
I'm so sorry. I'm getting excited.
No, go. You go.
Okay. I forced myself to go on dates with, I'm not knocking anyone's career, but stereotypically some people that had professions that were highly regarded, right? And I forced myself to go specifically on several dates with like
doctors.
And I did not have a very good time. I actually learned so much about myself and just the kind of person I wanted to be with, what that would appreciate me and my sense of humor and all of those. Like, I realized this is after a couple, I was like, this is not what I want.
Yeah.
Maybe I didn't find the right one. My right one happened to be an actor, but didn't mean I liked all actors.
I'm not a doctor. I just play well on TV. I'm sorry. I don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a similar experience with, okay, so how many times have you guys heard the either the phrase or the concept of someone who's incredibly beautiful but therefore vapid, or someone who's incredibly, like my mom used to say, body by Fisher, brains by Mattel. Like that action figure body of like perfectly beautiful, look at me.
Right.
And just I pick things up, I put them down. Like very, and I've heard that phrase, and then you end up stereotyping people because you've heard a phrase, but you have no reference for it. I've been on dates with extremely hot people who were also extremely intelligent and also rich and deep and full.
Yeah.
And both unattractive and very attractive people have been
I did not mean to
vapid.
say that doctors don't have personalities. I just happen to go
on dates with the most idiot boy doctors. Yeah, I'm just helping fill that in for everybody. But my point with it is just that I remember going on dates with people that I was like, God, you are hot. And then just halfway through being like, oh my God, I cannot stand this any longer. Like, we need to get out of here, or we need to get out of here. Like,
right.
Like we can't keep doing this because we're never going to talk again. Like,
right. Well, you just can't, I don't know. You can't, the idea, we're getting way off topic, but we should talk about this in maybe like the next live. I'd love to talk about, like, I hate the word types. Like, we should just get rid of like types, stereotype, like, especially in regards to dating though. Like,
yes.
When you date people, like having a type is so not smart to me. That is a not intelligent decision to say I have a type.
I think it's incredibly kind of you to say that it's not smart. It's stupid.
It's stupid.
A type is that you suddenly go, everything else is out. Now, that is not to say that there are not qualities about these things that you like. There's those, but that's not a type. Like, because we also pigeonhole everybody when we say a type. This was the first episode, I believe, one of the first episodes of The Refinery in season 1. I'll link it up here. It was just 48 minutes. I'll try to remember that. Mm-hmm. One of the first episodes was about the bad boy, like girls who like the bad boy.
Oh, yeah.
And by the end of the conversation, one of the things that I was kind of hooked on was like, what does it mean to be good or bad?
Right.
There are a lot of people that I have dated that think that I am a bad boy, not in a good way. Maybe it was what attracted them to me in the first place, but then my lack of interest in them, or vice versa, or us just not meshing, turned into this other thing. And like those types that if we keep pushing those types within dating, people will try to fill them. I tried to be, as Brandon did, as John did.
Right.
The bad John Gorski, the other member of The Refinery. We tried to be the bad boy. We tried to be a good guy. We tried to be these things. And whenever you try to fill a mold that is only one dimension, you leave out all those other things. You are an infinite concoction of a million different things and a million different types. My favorite thing was when one of your friends at Westside, one of our friends, MJ, said to you, because I love not really fitting a type.
Yeah.
I would come in dressed however I wanted to that day. And
Yeah.
some days I would wear my camel hair coat and a suit. And some days I would come in my t-shirt and jeans and my leather jackets. And some days, and they were all very me. It was all very honest to what I felt in that moment. But you told me once that he said, what's it like dating a Ken doll where he just can change his clothes? He's a different
character every day. Yeah, he's a different type of Ken every day.
And that made me really happy.
Because you weren't in a mold. But that's what I was attracted to. I was like, oh, this is interesting. There's something going on there that like he's living his own best life. Yeah. And that's so intriguing. I love that. I love that
you have so many types to you, but it's when we play in that one type that we pigeonhole ourselves. And you're right. We could go off on this for another.
Yeah, I think this is a good. I don't know. Do you guys like this topic? I like this topic because I have so many stories that kind of could dive into. But
we should do this one. We'll put a pin in types. We'll talk about types
next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday. Also, well, it's the last 10 minutes ish. We'll go back to the comments in a second, but if everybody could, before we go back to the comments, put in what kind of animal you could be.
That is what we wrapped with last time.
That's what we were supposed to wrap with, but we said we would open with and we didn't because I forgot until just now.
Thanks, John.
So if we could.
I didn't really prepare for this one.
I didn't either. And that's why we're going to go to the comments and think about it. And
yeah, you guys go first.
You know what? I want to know off the top of your head, what's the first animal you think you would be? Missy.
Well, first I said
I didn't even have to hear it.
That's not fair because it's like I would. It's not that I want to be a dog. I would want to be
Missy. Specifically, Missy. Why?
My God, I could go on forever if you
kind
of know. But Missy inspires me every day.
Missy is our Maltese, our little 8-pound ball of fluff.
She
Maltese.
Is 14 and a half years old.
Mm-hmm.
She is a tough old bird, is what we say, but she's just a little girl. But she wakes up. I always say, I wish I could wake up like Missy. She wakes up with the fire of life in her. She is raring to go. She is like.
It's like she has an overabundance of barks built up from the night. And she wakes up.
So excited.
Runs in circles.
She runs to her toys as if she has never seen them before. She runs to the toys. And is so excited to see that freaking ball. Like it is the greatest ball she's ever seen in her whole life. And then she realizes, it's time for breakfast. And it is the most exciting time she's ever had. And then she takes the most luxurious nap and teaches me about so much. She enjoys life like nobody enjoys life.
Yeah.
And doesn't give a flying fuck about like what you think about it. Like she doesn't care. She just does what she wants.
Yeah. Now, if you're just checking in, we are talking about Missy, our Maltese. And it's the coolest thing in the world.
Yeah. I just admire her.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
I think that's exactly who you are. And minus she does wake up, run around, looks for toys, and then screams, breakfast.
She does.
No, I meant you.
Oh.
I don't know what kind of animal I would be. I think best case scenario, I would come back as, and this is on purpose, but this one right here, Maya. And I think it's very fitting that we choose those two just because there's a level of patience. First off, she's agile. She's incredibly loving, and people always say you'll never love. Like our whole aspiration in life should be to love the way that a dog loves. Yeah. But I've never had patience the way that Maya does. Maya has this love for everybody she meets. She loves all humans so much. Heart. All dogs, little babies. Like she's fine with everything else in the world. Nothing affects her negatively unless it does, in which case she becomes very protective, which I love. Yeah. I remember the first time we took her to a dog park, with Missy. Yeah. When they went together, it was an entirely different situation because suddenly Missy, who also is such a monster that she ran up and attacked a German Shepherd.
Afraid of no one. Yeah. She's clinching this German Shepherd.
Because the German Shepherd was kind of roughhousing with Maya, at which point Maya sees that Missy looks like maybe she's in trouble, and Maya loses her mind. The world goes black, and she wakes up just 10 minutes later, she's like, don't touch what happened? Sister! What happened? Everybody good?
Right.
But I would love to have that kind of patience. I would love to have that love and that. I mean, when she goes outside, she's just looking for what's next? What is this? What is that? And that questioning, that drive, I love that. I mean, I think, so the short answer is we both come back as dogs, but very specifically
those two.
our dogs. Because they are just so fucking full of love, and there's so much to learn from watching how they interact with each other, with us, with the world. And so definitely them. If you're just checking in, we were asking everybody what John Severson asked us last week, what kind of animal would you be if you could come back as an animal, and why? And
it's a good question.
Yeah, it's a good question. He meant it as a joke, and flip the script, double down. Here we go.
Let's look at it.
Hey, Kimmy, don't worry about being late. I hope everything's good. Lost to the chat. Making homemade bread. There we go. I need to learn to stop saying sorry when I don't need to. Take a leaf out of your book. Grab life by the horns. So afraid, but I'm determined to try. Love that.
I love that.
Love that, Mel. We've said this before, where we were talking about the fact that we say sorry every time somebody like bumps into us anywhere. Like we'll say, "Oh, sorry."
Yeah.
Instead of what we mean to say, which is excuse me.
Yeah.
And not like excuse me, but just excuse me.
But what's funny is, and I struggle with this too, Mel, is I take responsibility just because I don't want anyone else to be uncomfortable. I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. I know it's not my fault or whatever the thing is going on, but I say why do I say I'm sorry? Just because I don't want to make you uncomfortable or inconvenience you or let you feel any blame or pain,
or have to think. Right?
Yeah.
How many times do we save everybody else from having to think or feel? So because we're like, no, I'll just take that pain. This is a larger conversation for another time. But how often do we do that? Quite often. Hey, Nova Lee. You can't force chemistry. Very true, Kelly.
No, you can't.
All right, Claire, with the first animal of the day, koala.
Oh,
cute and cuddly. Haha.
Claire,
agreed.
Have you ever held a koala? Question.
If not, get to Australia immediately.
I should try and find
Steve Irwin's preserve. It's
that photo. I don't know if I have the photo on my phone though, but I have it in storage. I'll try and find it. When I held a koala, I cried. You'll cry.
Now, to be fair, we were in Australia. This was on the Pink Tour, the Truth About Love Tour. We were over there and we were gone for like 3 months. And
I have never been away from our girls for 3 months, or
I don't think you had even
3
been away from
weeks,
Missy for 3 days at that point.
Yeah.
And so that was very, very hard, especially on you. And no, just because at the time I was still learning how to love them properly and how to be a good, monster daddy. But we went to I think it was Steve Irwin's,
beautiful,
like preserve animal safari park. And it's incredible. And they have a kangaroo area where you can go.
Oh, this was awesome.
You can just sit like with a kangaroo like this. It's like, and they were like, please do not touch the kangaroos.
You can feed them.
You can feed them.
And you can touch them.
And they're like sleeping and they're very used to people being there. So
cute.
Ange, though, did not heed those warnings or calls. I wouldn't say warnings, those calls not to touch the kangaroos as she laid down. And because they, like Maya,
they look like Maya.
Like their faces, there's a part of them that from a certain angle, they look like Maya. And she was like laying down with a kangaroo, spooning with it.
And he kept being like, babe, don't.
And I was like, please don't do this. Please don't do this. Please don't do this.
Tell me what to do.
And she laid down and was like, oh. I panicked.
A sweet game. Yeah, because he was like, "You're gonna get kicked." I was like, "No, it's a
I was
sweet
like, he's
baby.
gonna kick your legs off.
We
He's
love
gonna
each
kick you
other.
in the hips, and
I'm
your
gonna
hips are
take
going
you
to
home."
explode. And she
I
was
think
actually
I
fine.
kissed it.
Yeah, you did.
I
You
made
kissed it.
sure that I kissed it before you fully
Kissed a
freaked
kangaroo.
out, and then I
was like, get up. Nope. So yeah, koala bear was next in command, where commanded her heart, much like Missy.
Yes.
And then she was crying in the photo. Is
koala
hilarious.
is a really good choice.
Okay. Fachette says, I would like to be a cat.
Oh.
Okay, Fachette, can you hit me up with the why of that? I like it, but novelty cat because I'm quiet and shy. Quiet and sky. I like that. Now, do you find that within that, because what I've found with cats is that they're also fiercely independent, as opposed to being quiet, because I've been around some cats that aren't very quiet, and that they're not necessarily shy. They're just like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I don't need you. Bro. I like my space. And I think that's a cool thing that I respect about cats.
Yeah.
So I dig that. That's an interesting one. Hey, Nydia. T-Von says tiger because they're intimidating and I like them. All right. Okay, okay.
You see, are you finding yourself?
You're finding a little bit of tiger in there. Get it. Claire was going to say koala too because they can sleep 20 plus hours in a day. You know what? Get it. I'm a tortoise because I move so slow and revert to my shell to hide. You know what though? Snapping tortoise. They got some strong jaws.
I guess the question is, what animal do you
would
want?
You be?
Like would
yeah,
you
if you could be an animal, what would you be versus
what you think
you are now?
Yeah.
I'd still say you're very.
You think I'm similar to Missy, but Missy inspires me every day to be better.
And maybe that,
that
vis-a-vis comme ci, comme ça, mi casa, su casa, all the sayings. My mom said leopard, fast, beautiful, and sleek. Very nice.
Like
okay. Christy, a lion and a monkey. Lion, so no one dares to mess with my children, family, or friends, and a monkey because they are so smart, fun, and silly. I love that.
That's a good combo.
I like that. The old lunky.
That's funny.
The Mayan lunky. Classic.
I like that.
That's how griffins were created. We'll crossbreed them and figure it out. Ryan Laurentino, Brazil. Hello, Brazil in the house. All right. Unless that's your answer. Like I would be Brazil, which would be also a cool answer. Not an animal, but just like
a country.
This is what I would be. Kelly, my friend jokes that I'm a baby giraffe because I'm long-limbed and freckled with big eyes and slightly clumsy. But my 2020 animal is definitely a sloth. Just cuddles and sleeps. So
into that. A baby giraffe is cute.
They're very fast too. A lot of people don't know that.
I feel like
incredibly fast.
I heard that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they've got extremely long. They take one step and then a mile down the road. Claire, never held one, but always wanted to. Matter of time. Throw it on there.
Put it on the bucket list, baby.
All right, Fachette. They're smart and independent, yes. And my Lucas protects the house like a dog. You could see him growl like a wolf when he senses people near the door. Oh my God, that's adorable. I would also like to be a penguin. Love penguins. Okay.
Who wants to be a penguin?
Claire. All right, so.
I love penguins.
Also Australia. That was Melbourne, right?
Oh God. We're going a little bit over, you guys.
Yeah, we'll wrap up soon. We'll wrap up soon. Cut out if you need to. Come back, check in later. Throw a like on the way out. Apparently that helps. I don't know how. That's why I never say it, but everybody on YouTube says throw a like. It really helps. I don't know how. I don't know. I don't care. You guys are the best. Thanks for being here, no matter what. Penguins. So we're in Melbourne, Australia, and somebody says we're out at some restaurant or bar.
Yes,
probably bar. And somebody says, "Have you seen the penguins?"
And we're like,
I think we're in Australia. And they were like, "No, there's penguins here." We're like, "What? Where?" I said, "Okay, you're going to go down this main promenade. I'm going to go over here to the boardwalk. It's closed off. Find your way around that, walk down to the end of the pier and over onto the rocks. And now that I'm saying this out loud, it sounds like someone was going to mug us.
It does, actually.
But
this is what happened, though. So this one night, we hear about this during the day. So the concert ends, right? And the concert ends late. I think it was like midnight almost.
Oh, yeah.
And so you get back to the hotel and we plan, because the time that you're supposed to see them is like between like 2 o'clock in the morning and like 4 or something like crazy. So we like plot our adventure, right? And we are like, okay, how are we going to do this? Because we had to, they when they said it was closed off, they meant it was fully closed off. I don't know how they expected us to do it.
It was like a construction site. No.
We didn't?
We didn't hop a fence. There was a fence that had barbed wire above it.
Oh.
We didn't hop that fence. It was on a dock, like part of the way down, like the Santa Monica Pier. Imagine that. And then, so we had to climb over the railing and on the outside over the ocean, climb around the fence and then back over.
We did the swing move.
It was
a little crazy.
I mean,
we get there 2 o'clock in the morning. And there was somehow a light on, or did we shine a light?
We shined a light.
We shined a light. Shine a light. And we shined the light on the phone. And there are dozens.
Oh.
At least dozens,
Easily dozens.
Baby penguins.
Like this tall.
Like little baby penguins that were huddled, and they were fine. Just looking in our eyeballs.
They were just hanging around. They're like, hey, what's up? Hey. And then a couple of them were like jump in the water. So we're gonna come back to the rocks.
Craziest, cutest thing I've ever seen. And we were literally like, I don't know, like 3 feet from them.
Yeah, max.
They were not afraid. They were so cute.
Yeah, penguins are awesome.
That was a dramatic way to retell, but
well, it was just a fun story.
Shed a tear.
Oh yeah, no, anytime she saw an animal. For all of Australia.
I'm obsessed with animals anyway.
You really are. Favorite thing in the world used to be going to zoos.
Oh, I know. Now we have to feed. We have to be smart about it.
Yes.
You can't support.
It depends on which ones.
Yeah. You have to do your research.
Yeah, do your research. Know where you're going. All right. With that in mind, I don't think there's anything brand new over here. You guys are the best. They find the best pebble and give it to the penguin they love.
Oh, that's so cute.
I did too. Hey-o, with that said, love you guys. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Love you.
This was a fun one.
Tuesday will be a great combo on types.
Thursday? Oh, next Tuesday, yes.
Let's
and this
do that.
Thursday's video.
It's going to be fun.
It's going to be really, really fun. So make sure to tune into that. This Friday, we have another episode of The Refinery coming out. Mm-hmm. It's a big old week.
It's going to be a good week.
It's going to be a good one. Thank y'all for being here. We love you. Have a great day. I got to start saying it like
as you press.
Yeah, because it's still going. Okay, we love you again.